You've been misled about what it really takes to win at life. It's not about waking up at 5 a.m. to run like a maniac or stuffing your mind with shiny success formulas that promise the world. Real transformation starts where almost no one's looking. Inside your mind, in those early, quiet hours of the day when the world is still asleep and you get to choose between being ruled by randomness or taking command of your own destiny. Sounds bold? That's because it is. And I'm going to show you how. Few people talk about this, but there's a set of timeless habits that the great leaders, sages, and conquerors throughout history practiced long before the world ever heard the word productivity. These aren't trends. These are ancient, battle-tested rituals straight from Stoicism, a philosophy that builds real-life warriors, not armchair theorists. If you begin your mornings with these 9 Stoic habits, you'll experience change so fast, it'll almost feel unfair to those still living on autopilot. Imagine starting each day with mental clarity, inner strength, and a peace so grounded that even bad news can't shake it. Sounds like a dream? That's exactly what happens when you adopt a morning reflection, strategic planning, and soul-fueling philosophical reading, among other simple but powerful habits I'll share with you here. No canned formulas, no mystical shortcuts, just real, practical, and transformative actions. And if you think you've already seen everything about morning routines, get ready to be surprised. Most advice out there teaches you how to be busier, not wiser. But this is different. The goal here is to create a life you truly admire, from the inside out. So stay with me until the end, because what you're about to learn might not just redefine your day, it could reshape your entire future. The moment the alarm clock rings, most people jump out of bed like the world is on fire. But a true Stoic knows the day should begin with awareness, not chaos. A morning reflection, done while your face is still wrinkled from sleep, is what separates those who live on autopilot from those who shape their own destiny. Thinking, for example, about the virtues you want to embody today, like courage, justice, and moderation, sets your mind on the right course. And let's be real, no one wants to spend the day reacting like a puppet. This intimate moment plants the seed of resilience, because only those who know where they're going can face the day's bumps with calm and clarity. Imagine starting your day by looking inward instead of staring at your phone. It sounds simple, but it's almost revolutionary. A powerful habit is to take a few quiet minutes early on to ask yourself meaningful questions. What truly matters today? Which Stoic mindset do I need to embody to stay grounded? This type of morning reflection becomes a shield against all the distractions life loves to throw your way. Try writing those questions down in a small notebook. Yes, real paper and pen, not an app, and turn it into a sacred ritual. This way, you activate your self-discipline in the very first round of the day, while everyone else is still fumbling for their car keys. And don't think this practice needs to be some mystical ritual with incense and white robes. The beauty of Stoicism lies precisely in its simplicity. Want an example? While brushing your teeth, you can already be doing your morning reflection in your mind, or during that sacred first sip of coffee. What matters is that this brief encounter with yourself brings clarity. Over time, that clarity becomes your compass for the next step, planning. Because when your mind is in the right place, your body follows. And from there, my friend, your day becomes almost impossible not to conquer. Let's be honest, who hasn't woken up already thinking about the 300 work tasks or the bills piling up? It's normal. But Stoicism teaches us that before looking outward, we need to adjust our inner lens. That's exactly what the morning reflection is for, to shield your spirit from the avalanche of worries. Think of it like opening your umbrella before the storm hits. When you make it a habit, along with your philosophical reading and a touch of Stoic meditation, you start to take control of your day instead of being just a lost passenger. The most interesting part, even on tough days, the kind where you just want to hide under the covers, the consistent practice of morning reflection builds a base of resilience that lifts you back up. Suddenly, problems that seemed overwhelming reveal themselves as hidden opportunities for growth. And in that flow, with that inner strength already awakened, the next step unfolds almost naturally. Good old planning. You know that feeling of spending your whole day putting out fires that nearly disappears once you master the art of planning. In Stoicism, planning your day is like preparing the battlefield before the fight. You don't wait for the enemy to show up before figuring out your next move. After a solid morning reflection, your mind is clearer and ready to sort your priorities, to separate what's within your control from what isn't. And trust me, that shift is powerful. With mindful planning, every action becomes a firm step toward your values instead of a frantic scramble. The big secret? Be realistic, not overly optimistic, and definitely not your own problem salesman. A practical example? Instead of cramming your to-do list with 30 things that you know you won't finish, pick 3 major priorities for the day. Just 3. You can count them on one hand. That kind of simplicity is a true act of self-discipline and resilience. And you know what? It's way more effective than playing the hero and ending the day frustrated. Stoicism teaches that the quality of action matters more than the quantity. So let's stop running around like headless chickens and start acting like real strategists. Planning your day is also an amazing chance to cultivate gratitude. Sounds counterintuitive, I know, but hear me out. While organizing your schedule, notice how many opportunities you have to serve, to grow, to learn. Even that annoying boss might just be a trainer for your stoic patience. That perspective changes everything. And this is where morning reflection, stoic meditation, and philosophical reading make all the difference. They fine-tune your vision so you can spot blessings where before you only saw burdens. Now, no one said planning has to look like a giant board covered in colorful sticky notes, unless that's your thing, of course. It can be as simple as jotting things down in a notebook, setting reminders on your phone, or even speaking your plan out loud while making breakfast. The important thing is to externalize your plan. After all, the mind loves to play tricks on us, especially when it's overwhelmed. This practice makes you more in control of yourself, strengthens your self-discipline, and frees up mental space to focus on tasks that truly make your heart beat stronger. And if you still think planning is for boring people, let me tell you something. Even the boldest adventurer needs a map before setting out to explore the world. There's no freedom without direction. Just as a stoic navigator needs stars to guide the way, you need clear goals to move through your day without capsizing. And one of the most grounding anchors for the mind and spirit is, without a doubt, the daily practice of philosophical reading. If you want to walk among giants, you first need to listen to what they had to say. Philosophical reading is like sitting at the table with Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius, 3 men who understood life long before we ever showed up. By including this practice in your day, especially after your morning reflection and planning, you nourish your mind with thoughts that strengthen resilience and a sense of purpose. You don't need to read 100 pages a day, okay? 10 focused minutes can have a massive impact when what you're reading speaks to your soul, not just your eyes. Now, don't just pick up the first book you see just to check a box. Here, quality matters more than quantity. A practical tip: start with Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. It's basically the Stoics' real-life playbook. Another great one is On the Shortness of Life by Seneca, a wake-up call for anyone always saying they don't have time. Choosing a fixed time right after your morning reflection makes philosophical reading a natural part of your planning ritual. As they say, a well-fed mind leads to well-made decisions. And don't come at me with the excuse that you don't like reading. There are audiobooks, video summaries, philosophical podcasts. You can absorb wisdom while doing physical exercise or even while cleaning the house. The key is to keep learning as a daily practice and to adapt the format to your routine. That's pure self-discipline. And it's incredible how small daily doses of philosophy can turn even the messiest problems into manageable challenges. The difference between a good day and a wasted one often lies in the first thoughts we feed our minds. Here's a powerful trick to lock in what you've read. Try explaining it to someone else. You can share it in a conversation, a social media post, or even write it down as a note to yourself. When you teach, you reinforce. This simple practice makes your understanding rise like dough. And let's be real, the world's starving for good ideas. Sharing a strong morning reflection or a Stoic insight could be the spark that lights up someone's entire day. Not bad, right? The real genius of philosophical reading is that it prepares you for what comes next. Staying focused on what's within your control and finding serenity in the midst of chaos. And it's exactly this state of presence, this genuine attention to what truly matters, that Stoic meditation comes in to reinforce on a deeper level. If you think Stoic meditation means sitting cross-legged on a mountaintop, forget the movie scene. The real practice is much simpler and much more powerful. It's about reflecting daily on your life, your actions, your fears, and your choices. After a solid morning reflection and a soul-stirring dose of philosophical reading, setting aside just a few minutes for introspection is like sharpening your sword before stepping into the day's battle. No incense, special cushions, or Sanskrit mantras required. Just facing your thoughts with honesty is already pure stoicism in motion. A practical way to start: use 3 basic questions. What did I do wrong yesterday? What did I do right? What can I do better today? Sounds simple, but it's quietly revolutionary. This small Stoic meditation habit strengthens your resilience because you stop fooling yourself and start chiseling away at your weaknesses like a sculptor working with raw stone. As Epictetus put it, it's not what happens that matters, it's how you respond. Meditating on that, even for 5 minutes after your planning session, completely shifts your mindset. This daily habit also supercharges your self-discipline. When you get used to looking at yourself without masks, you develop emotional muscle, the kind that keeps you grounded no matter how messy the day gets. And here's the magic. Stoic meditation doesn't require absolute silence or the perfect setting. You can do it while walking, while exercising, or even while gazing at the sky during a quiet connection with nature. What matters is keeping your mind engaged in this honest, inner conversation. A lot of people get lost, thinking meditation means thinking about nothing. In Stoicism, it's the opposite. You do think, but with structure, intention, and without automatic self-judgment. That's where gratitude begins to grow naturally, because you start to notice how far you've come, even if your challenges are still big. This practice helps you accept difficulties with more ease and keeps your resilience high, because let's be real, if it were easy, everyone would be doing it, right? And it's amazing how Stoic meditation creates space inside you, a clean, quiet, solid space that gives you the breath you need to face the chaos outside. It's like cleaning the lens through which you view the world. And with this renewed vision, your body begins to crave movement, strength, and vitality. After all, a sound mind and a sound body go hand in hand. So get ready, because we're about to talk about one of the most overlooked, yet most powerful, pillars of the Stoic path: physical exercise. In Stoicism, the body isn't just some accessory you care for out of vanity, it's the temple of virtuous action. There's no use sharpening your mind with morning reflection and Stoic meditation if your body can't keep up. That's why exercising early in the day is more than just a healthy habit. It's an act of respect toward yourself. And no, You don't need to become an Olympic athlete. Moving your body with intention, energy, and purpose is what matters. Even a 15-minute walk, taken with an open heart and a sense of gratitude, earns you serious points on the Stoic journey. Want a practical example of how to fit physical exercise into your day? Easy. Pair your workout with a moment of philosophical audio reading. While you walk or cycle, listen to teachings from Epictetus, Seneca, or even modern audiobooks on resilience and self-discipline. That way, you strengthen both body and mind at the same time, killing two birds with one stone. And trust me, this practice creates such a satisfying feeling that after a while, going back to a sedentary routine becomes almost unthinkable. Another key point: movement awakens a vitality that fuels every other habit you're building here. After a good physical exercise session, your daily planning flows better, your Stoic meditation deepens, your connection with nature becomes more vivid. Even your morning reflection hits harder because an energized body can better support elevated thoughts. That's Stoic living in action, each small habit boosting the others in a synergy that's invisible but completely tangible. And if you think you need fancy equipment or a gym membership to start, forget it. Stoicism thrives on simplicity. Use what you have: your own body weight, a nearby park, or even that backyard you rarely step into. What matters is creating a daily commitment to your physical and emotional well-being. Once again, it's about self-discipline, about proving to yourself every single day that you deserve this renewed energy. It's gratitude in motion, literally. With your body awakened and your mind still buzzing from your workout, comes that irresistible call to return to your roots, to seek something more essential, more pure. And nothing delivers that feeling quite like a solid, intentional connection with nature, which leads us into the next step of this journey. In times of non-stop notifications, traffic noise, and looming deadlines, seeking a connection with nature is almost an act of healthy rebellion. In Stoicism, this relationship with the natural world is more than just relaxation. It's a masterclass in humility and perspective. Watching a tree grow, a wave crash, or a bird take flight reminds you that life has its own rhythm, regardless of our artificial hustle. Making this a daily practice, even just 15 minutes after your physical exercise or morning reflection, is like recharging an invisible battery deep in your soul. And before anyone thinks they need a rainforest in their backyard, let me stop you right there. All it takes is looking at the sky, feeling the wind, touching the grass, or listening to the rain. Small gestures, big effects. A walk in the park, a bit of sunlight on the porch, or simply opening the window to watch the sunset already strengthens your connection with nature. This direct contact, even if brief, brings a serenity no binge watch can replicate. And more than that, it deepens your gratitude for the simple beauty of existence. Connecting with nature is also a perfect opportunity to practice Stoic meditation in motion. Instead of just passing through places, stop. Breathe. Feel the texture of reality, the light, the air, the life pulsing around you. This practice reduces anxiety, strengthens resilience, and expands your capacity for mindfulness. All the qualities you've been cultivating since your morning reflection, through your planning, and into your philosophical reading. Everything starts to interconnect like a silent, powerful network of inner reinforcement. And here's another detail. Nature teaches us patience and adaptation. A tree doesn't fight the wind, it dances with it. A river doesn't shatter rocks, it flows around them and continues on. These living lessons are Stoicism in physical form. Every time you feel small, standing before the vastness of nature, paradoxically, you become stronger on the inside. Because realizing how small we are in the face of the universe strengthens our gratitude for every opportunity to grow, to fail, to learn, and to start again. And it's exactly with this renewed soul, this sense of existential freshness, that we turn our gaze inward again. Because after refueling with the energy of the world outside, it's time to cherish what's most precious inside. The blessings you've already earned, the joys that often go unnoticed. And that's where the next powerful habit of the Stoic path comes in: the daily practice of gratitude. In a world where most people wake up already complaining about Monday, practicing gratitude is basically a superpower. In Stoicism, acknowledging and appreciating what you have is a conscious and liberating choice. After your morning reflection, daily planning, and even a quiet connection with nature, taking a few minutes to list 3 things you're grateful for makes an enormous difference. And they don't have to be grand: a hot cup of coffee, a spontaneous laugh, sunlight through the window. Those are more than enough. A practical way to cultivate gratitude: create a morning journal where you write down 3 blessings or wins from the previous day. It could be something as simple as completing your physical exercise or finishing a challenging chapter of your philosophical reading. When repeated with self-discipline, this habit starts to rewire your perception. Bit by bit, you train your brain to spot what's good before obsessing over what's missing. And let's be honest, those who learn to appreciate the little things become worthy of much more. Gratitude also becomes an anchor on turbulent days. When things don't go as planned, because yes, life can be stubborn, having this habit grounded within you keeps you from slipping into self-pity. You learn to recognize that even in the midst of setbacks, there are still reasons to move forward with resilience. That's the heart of Stoicism. Not denying hardships, but choosing the response that strengthens rather than weakens. And gratitude, my friend, is pure fuel for the soul. And this doesn't need to turn into some rigid happiness checklist. Real gratitude is felt, not forced. It can be expressed in a kind word to someone, in silent reflection during a walk, or even through small gestures, like taking better care of your belongings. When you practice gratitude authentically, your morning reflection, Stoic meditation, and even your planning take on a deeper meaning, like an invisible seasoning that makes everything richer, more vibrant, more alive. With a heart full of gratitude and a mind fortified by daily conscious practices, you naturally become more prepared for life's difficult days. And that's exactly where the next step comes in, developing such unshakable Stoic resilience that nothing, absolutely nothing, can truly break you. True strength doesn't come from never falling, but from getting back up as many times as necessary. And that, my friend, is Stoic resilience in its purest form. After starting your day with morning reflection, strategic planning, and intentional gratitude, you're already equipped with the right tools to face whatever comes your way. The resilience taught by Stoicism isn't the brute force we see in movies. It's a quiet fortress built from within, where every fall becomes a lesson and every challenge is treated as training for life's marathon. One classic Stoic practice to strengthen resilience is negative visualization, also known as premeditatio malorum. Sounds intense, but it's simple. For a few minutes, imagine that something today could go wrong. Not to invite problems, but to emotionally prepare. If it rains on your picnic, if traffic jams, if the meeting derails, you've already mentally rehearsed how to respond with calm. This quick exercise, done after your meditation or planning session, shields your mood and reinforces your spirit. Resilience is also about knowing which battles are worth fighting. Not everything deserves your energy. Sometimes, the wisest thing you can do is take a deep breath, accept what you can't change, and focus on what you can. Exactly what Stoic sages have taught for centuries. Applying that discernment in daily life, whether in a petty argument or a tough professional situation, is an art refined only through daily practice of reflection, philosophical reading, and of course, plenty of self-discipline. Emotional muscles, just like physical ones, need training, and life won't always give you clear signs that you're on the right track. Many times, you'll feel like you're swimming upstream. That's when Stoic resilience shines the brightest, when you keep doing the right thing, even when no one is watching, even when results take time to show. The real victory here is inner peace, the certainty that you're doing your part with integrity, no matter the noise around you, and that, my friend, is priceless. Now, with all this emotional and mental foundation being built day by day, there's only one essential piece left to crown your transformation: self-discipline. Because without it, even the best intentions collapse. Self-discipline is like that true friend, the one who annoys you sometimes, holds you accountable, but deep down just wants to see you win. In Stoicism, it's the engine that keeps everything else running. Morning reflection, beautiful planning, daily gratitude, and unshakable resilience are useless if you don't sustain them. Self-discipline is what turns good intentions into solid results. And believe me, it doesn't show up out of nowhere. It's built drop by drop every single day, especially through those small choices that seem insignificant at first glance. Want a practical example? When you choose to exercise even though you're feeling lazy, or when you decide not to skip that philosophical reading you planned for today, you're shaping your self-discipline. These small, silent victories are what, over time, transform you into someone who doesn't just talk about Stoicism, but lives it. There's no magic formula. It's antwork, slow and steady. It's taking the right step when no one's watching, especially when you feel like giving up. Self-discipline also means not being ruled by fleeting emotions. It's knowing that desire is not a command. You may not feel like doing your Stoic meditation today, and still do it. You might prefer Netflix over your connection with nature, and still go outside for a walk. This ability to act despite emotional ups and downs is what separates modern Stoics from distracted dreamers. As Epictetus taught, true power is self-mastery, and that mastery begins with the most mundane actions. But here's the thing, self-discipline is not blind rigidity. It's not turning into a joyless robot. Quite the opposite. When cultivated properly, it frees you. It frees you from the weight of guilt, the anxiety of procrastination, the frustration of broken promises to yourself. You begin to live lighter, with more gratitude, more presence, and a deeper sense of self-respect. Each morning reflection, each planning session, each small victory becomes a quiet celebration of this inner freedom that only self-discipline can build. So now tell me, after learning about these 9 Stoic habits that shape giants, what excuse will still keep you stuck? Are you going to keep living on autopilot, dreading Mondays and waiting for things to magically change? Or are you ready to take control, apply each lesson, and finally build the life you know you deserve? The choice, as always, is yours. Which of these habits do you feel called to develop first? Morning reflection to gain clarity, planning to act with purpose, or self-discipline to overcome yourself? Drop it in the comments. I want to know which challenge you're ready to face head-on. And remember, true change doesn't come from grand speeches, but from small actions repeated every day. If you want to keep diving deeper into this world of practical wisdom and real transformation, hit subscribe now. Turn on the bell so you never miss a video, and walk this path of growth right alongside me. The life you want is already waiting for you. It just needs you to start.